As a Lakers fan, like a true Lakers fan, I'm honestly starting to question if I even like other Lakers fans. I think I'm just talking about Twitter Lakers fans. There might be a difference between, an actual authentic Lakers fan versus a Twitter Lakers fan. Like, I feel like half of the Lakers fans, so-called Lakers fans on Twitter, are probably just LeBron fans or a fan of just some other type of aspect of the sport in general. Maybe not even of the sport, betting, something like the most casual fan you could be. I feel like you often hear that Lakers fans are extremely toxic, right? You always hear that. Lots of other fan bases don't like our fan base in general because they say that we're a very toxic fan base. And then it's like, okay, what does that even mean? And I think I'm starting to realize, maybe not starting to realize, maybe I used to be that toxic Lakers fan, but I feel like just the casual Lakers fan is probably going to be very toxic. And maybe it's just a California thing, an LA thing, or maybe it's because they're a fan of the franchise that is tied for the most championships of all time. The Lakers franchise in general is probably the best franchise in NBA history if you look at all the players that played for us. And I think because of that, Lakers fans feel as if they're like qualified to talk trash to other teams. And I think this is where it comes off as toxic. So if I'm a Lakers fan, why don't I like that? Well, I don't think that's the reason I don't like other Lakers fans. It all has to do with our own team. First off, I'm just going to describe the stereotypical Lakers fan right now. And it's been this way since I was a kid that I could just remember, ever since social media came out. Usually they'll watch maybe one out of every 5-10 games. They're not going to watch every single game. And when they watch that game, they just have very high expectations. And if the Lakers don't win, they always got to look at somebody to blame. And I think sometimes, you could just go into a game and lose. And I think we gotta stop as fans, just in general, not even Lakers fans, stop looking so much to put blame on something. Instead of being like, it's his fault or it's the coach's fault, it's the player's fault. I just don't think that is a good way to be a fan. And I think Lakers fans especially, like, they just get so emotional and invested in they have to have a scapegoat. And I think Lakers fans in general, more than any other franchise, probably in the NBA, loves the idea of a scapegoat. The first half of the Lakers and Clippers game, LeBron James was playing like trash. He was 1 for 6. He had 3 points. He had 4 turnovers. He was not looking good. Probably the worst half we've seen from LeBron. Obviously, this whole season, maybe ever. And obviously, a lot of people are going to be blaming him. I've seen a lot of other people blaming Wenyen Gabriel because he was having trouble out there. Probably because we have an undersized power forward trying to go against a big center in Zubats. That matchup is not going to favor Wenyen Gabriel, but for the casual fan, they see Wenyen Gabriel struggling. They see him giving up a bunch of points, and they just say and assume that he's a bad player. Why do the Lakers play this dude? When in reality, these fans have not been watching the season and seeing that Wenyen Gabriel is a plus. He's been playing good all season, and it's crazy because when he wasn't playing, Lakers fans were saying he needs to play more. Lakers fans always want to complain about something. And it's not consistent complaining, because once they complain about something, it will then get fixed, and then they complain about it going back. They're just hypocrites. And when I say they, not every Lakers fan's like this, I hope. I definitely try not to be like this. I don't think I'm like this. But, for example, the Lonnie Walker minutes. Everybody was saying he needs to get more minutes. He needs to get more minutes. Darvin Ham's stupid. He don't know what he's doing. Then we get Lonnie Walker more minutes, and somebody's going to have to come off the bench when that happens. Rui didn't get minutes. Everybody's like, what is Darvin Ham doing? Why is he not playing Rui? And it's like, I don't think you guys understand. We only have a certain amount of players that could be on the court at a time. And a lot of Lakers fans scapegoat Darvin Ham. And to me, it's just ridiculous. Yes, sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe this rotation is a little bit questionable, but I think I did that more often when Frank Vogel was the coach, or maybe I was just more toxic back then. I wasn't watching as much games as I do now. This season, I could say I have not missed a single Lakers game. I've watched every single Lakers game this year live. And if I didn't watch it live, I went back and rewatched it. Pretty much the whole reason that I'm so frustrated right now, we just lost to the Los Angeles Clippers. A game where I honestly expected us to lose because of the NBA schedule, how they scheduled our last week. And I think a lot of the casual fans that tuned in for this, because it's the Battle of LA, it's Westbrook's first game back, so people are going to naturally tune in. It's on ESPN, so everybody's going to be watching. All those casual Lakers fans are going to be watching, and then they're just going to be mad because we're losing to the Clippers because we had a history. Yes, I'm not going to have an excuse for that. The Clippers have been beating us every single time over the last couple years. I think they're 33 and like 6 last 40 games or whatever. So the Lakers fans see that, they get frustrated, and now they want to blame somebody and do that whole scapegoat thing. When in reality, we weren't even supposed to win this game, to be honest. I didn't even think LeBron James and Anthony Davis were even going to play. They were talking earlier in the season when we held out AD for that back-to-back against the Rockets. Everybody was mad about that. And then they went past that and said he's going to play the last back-to-back of the season, which was this one. But I think this might have been the hardest back-to-back that we've had all season long. And maybe we've had crazier, routes, talking about just flying, maybe longer distance cities. But this one was very difficult because we went to Chicago, our first road trip, which was last Wednesday, which is crazy. This is a week-long road trip. We went to all these different cities. We go into Chicago fresh. LeBron's first game back starting. We look so good. We are very, very efficient on offense. We looked very balanced. We looked very much in control. We easily win that Bulls game. We had a little bit of trouble off the bench with Malik Beasley, but we easily win that game. Right after that game ends, the players, they got to do their press conference. They got to go, get all their things, pack up all this stuff, and then they get back on the plane after the game is over. And by the way, LA time here is 3 hours behind, or 2 hours behind Chicago time. I'm pretty sure it's 2 or 3. I forget. So they are getting on that plane after the game at like 12 in the morning, 1 in the morning. And then they got to fly all the way to Minnesota. We go into Minnesota. We probably land there at like 3 or 4 in the morning. Now really think about that. Think about being an athlete. Like, for the people that have played sports when we were younger, imagine imagine right now getting on a plane, flying somewhere overnight. Right now it's 1:30 in the morning when I'm recording this. Me getting on a plane right now after I just went to the gym, worked out really hard, I had a crazy run at the rec or at 24-hour fitness or whatever. I fly to a new city. I land at 4 in the morning. And then, it's snowing there. You can't really do anything. You're stuck in the hotel or whatever. And then you got to practice in the morning, go look at all the tape, have meetings, all these things you got to do as an NBA player. On top of that, check in with your family and stuff, because these players have a personal life. They're human beings. And then the very next day, we play the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are very, very hungry at home in a must-win game with their crowd behind them. Anthony Davis twists his ankle. I think a lot of people just forget about this game. Anthony Davis twists his ankle on Friday. And we end up fighting through all these injuries. Vanderbilt had a couple injuries that game. Got beat up that game. And we end up getting out there with a win. It is snowing. It's a blizzard. After that game, same thing. That was a late game. Again, it's late on the East Coast there. They fly to a new city. And not only just a new city, they go from Minnesota all the way to Houston, which is a long flight. Houston's got a lot of things going on. It's chaotic. We play the Rockets. It seems like a little bit of a break, right? But we just went from a must-win game where AD just twisted his ankle and everything. played a whole bunch of meaningful, impactful, hard played minutes, and now we fly all the way again to a new city at the bottom of the United States, and then we play another game there. And the reason I'm going through everything like this, because I want people to understand what these professional athletes have to do, because I think we just forget about that. We're like, they're paid millions, they can do this. You know, I don't care about how hard it is. Bro, they are human beings. They are the same as us. So anyways, we go into Houston, we dominate that game, we get out of there, we rest a little bit, and then we fly, get on the plane after that one. That one probably wasn't that rough, and then we go to Utah. Houston to Utah is a long flight. That is a very long flight. We land in Utah. It is snowing there again, just like Minnesota. Blizzard there. So same thing. We have a day's rest, just like the last 2 games or 3 games. And then we play the Jazz. They come out at home. Colin Sexton wants to come back, and they want to play hard because it's the greatest franchise coming into town. You got to play hard. It might be one of the best players of all time playing in that game, LeBron James. Players are going to play hard. They're going to want to beat them. You know, they take us to overtime. LeBron and Anthony Davis play over 40 minutes. And this is the craziest part of everything. We get on the plane at 1 in the morning after that 42-minute game. And we fly back to LA. They landed in LA at 3 in the morning, bro. Think about that. 3 in the morning. You got to go to sleep after a hard-fought 42-minute game. They can say this, the plane, it is a 2-hour flight, all right? You still got to be prepared to do everything, right? So then players are waking up at what time? 8 in the morning or whatever. They finally are back home in LA. They finally have a chance to see their families, relax a little bit, but then they got to get prepared for the Battle of LA, the biggest game of the week, the battle for the 5th seed. Back to back. You just played the night before, the same day. You just woke up at like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, or not 9 in the morning, at like 12 in the afternoon. You got to go to shoot around, got to do all this stuff and get prepared for the game. You know, it's going to be a whole bunch of people there getting ready for the game. It's all hyped up. It's Russell Westbrook's return. So much on the game. Twitter, people getting ready to tweet on Twitter about who's going to win, Russell Westbrook or LeBron James. Because for some reason now these players have beef because they played on the same team and it didn't work out. And fans think that, oh, it's got to be somebody's fault. It's LeBron's fault. No, it's Westbrook's fault. Why does it have to be a player's fault? Maybe it's just not the right fit. They're both primary playmakers. Okay? Stop having to blame somebody. It's just, you know, some people think it's fun to argue like that. You know, it's fun to battle against players like back in the day it was Curry and Harden or whatever. They weren't even teammates. Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry. Who's better? Whose legacy is better? Oh, if Steph wins this game, he's better than KD. Like, bro, come on, man. To me, that's so dumb. So anyways, I didn't even think Anthony Davis and LeBron were going to play coming off 42 minutes of crazy road trip. Back-to-back game. Literally just flew in, got into LA at like 3 in the morning, had to play the same day with no sleep, barely any sleep. And we come into that game and the Clippers have 4 days rest, bro. That's the worst part of it. The Clippers have 4 days rest and we just went a whole week flying across the country in blizzards in crazy games where everybody was trying their hardest against us. So that's just where I'm going with all this. After the game on Twitter, all these Lakers fans are so mad at this game and they're blaming Darvin Ham, they're blaming Dennis Schroeder, they're blaming LeBron James' first half performance. We're blaming. I don't even care that we played back to back. That's unexcusable. Aren't you guys embarrassed? That's no excuse. They don't really think before they tweet. If these players were in front of them and they were actually with them, like if they worked for the Lakers and they were going through this with the team, they would not be thinking all this stuff. And it's cool. Everybody's got a voice. Everybody's got an opinion. Some people like that stuff, and I'm all for that. But that's the reason I don't like other Lakers fans. You know, Give them a break, bro. Realize how hard their schedule is. Realize how these teams were going crazy against them. And realize they just played 42 games the night before, and now they're playing the same day, basically, against a rested Clippers team who were in the 5th seed. And by the way, I don't even want to be the 5th seed. I don't care if we're running from the grind or whatever. It's just the smarter thing to do, to not play the Suns in the first round. They're one of the hottest teams in the West right now, in the NBA right now. Why would you want to purposely play them? Now, I'm not saying we're trying to lose games on purpose, but I'm saying we lost this game. Cool. I understand there's like this ego and pride battle that the Clippers beat us again. But, bro, who cares? All right? We're the 7th seed. We're probably going to make the play-in. We're playing the Suns tomorrow, which I'm going to that game. It looks like they might even be resting their players. We could get a win there and then beat the Jazz to finish off the season and maybe finish with the 6th seed if the Warriors lose one game. And if not, we're in the 7th seed. And we could end up playing the Grizzlies, who lost to the Pelicans today, and they just let them come back. Or we play the Kings, who have been struggling against bad teams recently, and they have no defense. So, all in all, I'm not mad. I just made this video to just talk about, I'm starting not to like other Lakers fans. I still check Twitter all the damn time, but I can't join no Lakers spaces because all it is, I didn't even click on it, but they're probably talking trash on Norman Powell because, oh, they say Austin Reeves is a free throw merchant. Norman Powell is. It's always got to be like just revenge. Get back on Twitter. Like, oh no, this other fan said something about Austin Reeves. Now I'm going to say something about another player. And it's just like passing hate down to other players. Norman Powell is a good player, bro. I respect how he's able to draw fouls like that. And he is on one of the teams I hate the most. He's on my enemy team. You know, he played good. Kawhi Leonard played 40-something minutes, played good. I'm not going to be like, oh, he want to play hard because it's the Lakers. Nah, he showed up and played without PG in a must-win game for the Clippers. So shout out to the Clippers. They wanted it. You know, they have more rest than us. I expected the Lakers to lose this game, and we lost this game. And we actually put up a fight in the 3rd quarter, so I'm not even really that mad about it. Now, if we lose on Friday, the game I go to, I'm going to be hurt. And I'm going to start worrying. And that's when I'm going to get up on here and be one of those toxic Lakers fans. Like, what is going on? Somebody's got to be to blame. Because there's no excuses for that game, I guess. I mean, there's still a little bit of fatigue. Austin Reeves dealing with a little injury. But he's still been doing his thing. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Just came on here to vent a little bit. I just don't like other Lakers fans. The ZTAY. Peace.